Okay, if I can have your attention, please. Now joining us is Jimmie Johnson. He's our 5-time NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion, and certainly has had a lot of success here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Jimmie, talk about coming into Vegas. Had a good run last week, and talk about your outlook for this weekend.
My outlook's good. Very competitive at Phoenix last week, and I think the stuff we learned over the off season that we had a chance to run in Phoenix. We'll cross over here to Las Vegas. First mile and a half of the year, and we all know how many are on the schedule. So our team, along with all the others, is very focused on this weekend. We're eager to get on track and hopeful to have good speed in the car and a comfortable race car. I've always enjoyed this racetrack. We've been able to win here a bunch of times. And the cool thing for this track, in my mind, is how hard you can drive each and every lap. The progressive banking gives us some options to move around the racetrack and find other lanes to run on. And you got to pull the belts tight and man up to run around here. It's a lot of fun.
Take some questions now for Jimmie. We'll start here with Lewis, and then we'll go to Ryan.
Lewis, Frank Reuters, and Speed Week. After they told a couple of weeks, how important was it to just get a full race run in Phoenix and get some points back in the game for you and your team?
It was important, but you have DNS through the course of the year, and Daytona, unfortunately, was one of those. For myself, well, the other stuff, I'm not paying attention to it. Our next Tuesday, we hopefully our side will be heard, and hopefully things come in our direction, and that's what I'm hoping for. But there's really nothing I can do for that issue or for that situation. At the end of the day, I had to get maximum points each and every week, and at a minimum to secure a wild card spot, winning at least one race, maybe two races would do that, and that's my mindset, is to go out and win races, and then the points will take care of itself. Right now we're in a position that I don't want to be in, but we'll climb the ladder slowly.
Go ahead, Ryan. Two questions. First of all,
I know, that's what I was thinking.
okay, if I can have your attention, please. Jeff Gordon has joined us here in the Media Center. And Jeff is driving the number 24 DuPont 20 years Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. And Jeff, it's pretty incredible. 20 years with DuPont as your sponsor and as part of Hendrick Motorsports. That's an incredible accomplishment. And just talk about what that means, 2 decades with DuPont.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm very proud of it, that's for sure. I go back to those first days when I signed with Rick and we didn't have a sponsor, and then they told me about a meeting they had with DuPont where they were just talking to them about an associate, and that turned into a full-time sponsorship that has turned into what it is today, to be together for 20 years. So just the fact that I've been driving in the series for 20 years is one thing, but to know that we've had a sponsor be there with us the entire way, as well as Pepsi 15. So we've obviously put a great combination together that's worked out very well for us, as well as the business for DuPont and other sponsors, and it's something that we're definitely very proud of. And I think it's awesome that they're celebrating in the way that they are this year by the 20th anniversary paint scheme and logo, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
Thank you, Jeff. We'll take some questions now for Jeff. We'll start over here with Tom.
Hi, Jeff. Tom Jensen, Speed.com. In the 20 years, I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes. What stands out to you most as the biggest changes you've seen at Hendrick or in NASCAR?
Yeah, well, obviously we're still, things are always changing, but the biggest changes obviously this year, like electronic fuel injection.
And that's better than that. That he does super good. Awesome. Yeah, it's great. I know. I give him a lot of credit, believe me.
Okay, if I can have your attention, please. Wrapping up today's media availability is the defending NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion, and that is Tony Stewart. He drives the number 14 Mobile One Office Depot Chevrolet for Stewart Haas Racing. And Tony coming into Las Vegas Motor Speedway, first mile-and-a-half track of the season. We're going to race on a bunch of these before the year's out. What's your mindset about being here at Las Vegas?
I'm excited about it. This was probably, in all reality, this was the strongest race that we had last year. We had a car that just was dominant, and we still let it get away from us, which this is one of two tracks we haven't won at yet. So it was real disappointing to lose it with a penalty last year, but excited to be back. My car feels really, really good today, so I feel like we're off to a great start. We got a shot at a decent qualifying run, hopefully, and really excited about our race package so far.
We'll take some questions from for Tony. If you have one, raise your hand. Questions for Tony. All right, right here, Bob.
Bob Power, Christine Daly. What did the engine guys tell you happened last week, and what can you tell us?
He told me when I flipped the switch back on, it didn't start, which I already knew. I didn't ask any more questions. I figured I didn't need to know. I figured they've addressed it. So they told me that they knew what it was, and so that was good enough for me. I don't need to know about electronics too much. If I can't see it work, I don't get too interested in it.
Jeff Gluck, right through the middle here.
Jeff Buck from SBNation.com. I mean, are you worried at all that people have caught up now because, you and Carl were so dominant at these type of tracks last fall, and I mean, now there's been an off season. Do you think that you can? Are you interested to see where you stack up in terms of that? Do you think people have made gains?
It happens every year like that. There's guys that you look at how good we were at Homestead. We hadn't been that good the previous year at Homestead, so we caught up to somebody. So, it's part of technology. It always leapfrogs. Am I worried about it? No. It's a fresh year. People have had time to work on their programs and make them better through the winter, and that happens every year. So, I don't know that I worry about it as much as you try to make sure that the gains that you make through the winter are better than the gains that everybody else makes.
Claire?
Larry Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Can you talk about qualifying today, how you think your car will be for qualifying? Any thoughts after practice?
I think it's going to be good. I mean, it was pretty impressive to look at the timesheet. I mean, we were third on the sheet, and we were only 0.02 of a second off a quick time. I mean, it was a 7:02, a 7:03, and a 7:04. So, I mean, 0.02 of a second between first and third was pretty impressive. So, it'll be a cool qualifying session to watch.
Right here, Woody.
Woody came with MRN. Tony, just wanted to ask you about the dirt track experience last night. Heard that went okay for you, and just why you've been trying to do more of that. It seems like this year.
Last night was my 8th race this year, so I'm having fun running the dirt stuff. Last night was probably the least amount of fun. I look like I haven't slept for 3 days, and it's because my eyes are absolutely rubbed raw from trying to get all the garbage out of it from last night. It was a disaster over there, but it was definitely a tough night for sure. But I do it because I enjoy it. I mean, I love running my sprint car. I mean, Kenny Wallace and I think we've probably run more races this year than anybody. But I'm having fun with it. My guys come over. We had people from Mobile One and Office Depot at the track last night, and they enjoyed coming and watching us play. So, I feel like the more time that I'm in a race car, no matter what type of car it is, and I'm having fun doing it, it's better for me.